Hello and welcome to Elder Insights. I hope you're all doing well today and taking good care of yourselves. Have you ever thought that the fruits you've been enjoying for years might actually be harmful to your health? It's a surprising thought, right? Well, today we're diving into a topic that could change how you think about some of your favorite fruits. You might be shocked to learn that 6 common fruits, often seen as healthy, can actually be dangerous for seniors. Many of us have a daily routine of eating fruit, thinking it's always the best choice. But as we age, our bodies start to change, and so do the ways certain foods affect us. Kidney issues, blood sugar imbalances, and digestive sensitivities. These are just a few of the things that could be at risk. And the worst part? Sometimes we don't even realize the harm until it's too late. In this video, we'll explore 6 fruits that could be putting your health at risk. From the hidden dangers of star fruit to the unexpected effects of grapes, oranges, and more. This is something you won't want to miss. Trust me, the information I'll share today could really help you make better choices for your health. Now, this topic is incredibly important for seniors, and understanding which fruits could be dangerous for you can make a real difference in how you feel and how you manage your health moving forward. And believe me, the best part of this video is yet to come, so stay with us until the end. You won't regret it. Before we dive in, if you find this video helpful, please give us a like, share it with friends or family, and don't forget to subscribe to Elder Insights for more videos that can help you live better. If you like what you see, comment with a 1 below, or if you think we can improve, drop it to 0 and let us know. Your support is the motivation we need to continue bringing valuable content to you. Let's get started. 1. Star fruit, the hidden danger for those with kidney issues. As we get older, our health becomes something we think about more and more. We want to make sure we're eating right, taking care of our bodies, and staying strong. But have you ever stopped to think about how the foods we enjoy could affect us as we age? It's easy to assume that everything we've eaten for years is safe, but sometimes even the most harmless-looking foods can pose risks, especially if we have health conditions like kidney disease. One food that many of us love, but which can be surprisingly dangerous, is star fruit. This sweet, refreshing fruit seems like it should be a healthy choice, but it carries a hidden danger for people with kidney problems. I know what you're thinking. I've been eating star fruit for years, and it never caused me any trouble. I get it. I'm sure many of us have been in the same situation, eating something for years without any issues. But as we grow older, our bodies change. Our kidneys, which work to filter out toxins, start to slow down, and that can cause problems when we eat certain foods. Star fruit contains a toxin called caramboxin. For most people, this isn't a problem because our kidneys filter it out. But for those with weakened kidney function, something that's very common as we get older, the body struggles to remove the toxin. It builds up, and that can lead to serious problems like confusion, dizziness, and even memory loss. The scariest part? Kidney disease is often silent. Many older adults don't even realize they have it until it's too late. In fact, 1 in 3 adults over 65 has some form of kidney disease, and many don't know it. Let me tell you about John, a 72-year-old man from Florida. John was always careful with what he ate, trying to stay healthy. He decided to try star fruit one morning, thinking it would be a great addition to his breakfast smoothie. At first, he felt fine, but after a few days, he started feeling dizzy and fatigued. He had trouble concentrating and even forgot what day it was. His family was worried, so they took him to the hospital. After some tests, doctors discovered that John had kidney disease, something he had never suspected. The doctors explained that the star fruit he'd eaten had introduced toxins into his system, and his kidneys couldn't clear them out, which caused the severe symptoms. It's easy to think that something like this could never happen to us, but it's more common than you might think. As we age, our kidney function naturally declines, and even simple things, like a piece of fruit, can have a serious impact. This is why it's so important to be mindful of what we eat. We can no longer take our health for granted the way we might have when we were younger. So how can you protect yourself? The most important step is to be aware of foods that could potentially harm your kidneys. If you have kidney disease or are at risk for it, it's best to avoid star fruit altogether. But don't worry, you don't have to stop eating fruit. There are plenty of other options that are safe and delicious. Apples, pears, berries, and melons are all great alternatives. They provide plenty of vitamins and nutrients without the risk that star fruit poses. Another important step is to stay on top of your health. Regular checkups are vital. Kidney disease often goes unnoticed until it's advanced, so make sure you have regular screenings to catch any potential issues early. A simple blood test can give your doctor valuable information about how well your kidneys are functioning. This can help you make better choices about your diet and lifestyle. If you have kidney disease or are at risk, it might also be a good idea to consult with a dietitian. They can help you create a diet that supports kidney health, ensuring you get all the nutrients you need without eating foods that could harm you. I know how important it is to maintain our independence as we grow older, and food is a big part of that. We don't want to feel restricted, but by making small adjustments, we can avoid unnecessary health issues. Being mindful of foods like star fruit and taking steps to protect our kidneys can help us continue to enjoy life without the worry of serious health problems. So as we've seen with star fruit, certain fruits that seem harmless can actually pose serious risks. Now let's take a closer look at another fruit that many people think is healthy. Grapes. While they may seem like a sweet and natural alternative, they can also cause unexpected issues, especially when it comes to managing blood sugar levels. 2. Grapes, the sweet snack that can spike blood. Sugar as we age, it's natural to want to enjoy the things we've always loved, like a sweet treat in the afternoon. You might think that swapping out your usual sugary snacks for something healthier, like fruit, is the right choice for your health. But sometimes, even something as simple as a bowl of grapes can have unexpected consequences, especially when it comes to managing blood sugar. Let me share a story about Patricia, a 68-year-old woman from Chicago. Patricia, like many of us, was trying to make healthier choices as she got older. One day, she decided to replace her afternoon cookies with a bowl of grapes, thinking that it would be a better option for her health. After all, grapes are a natural fruit, so they should be good for her, right? But over the next few days, Patricia started feeling more and more tired. She noticed that her vision was blurry and her energy levels were way down. When she checked her blood sugar, it was higher than usual, something that had her worried. How could grapes, a healthy fruit, cause such a problem? Here's the thing. Grapes, like many fruits, contain natural sugars. While they might seem like a better choice than processed snacks, they can still cause a spike in blood sugar levels. For seniors or anyone dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, this can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and other uncomfortable symptoms. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing sugars, which makes it even more important to be careful about the foods we eat. Patricia's experience isn't a rare one. Many seniors struggle to keep their blood sugar levels in check, and sometimes the foods we think are healthy can actually make things worse. The problem isn't about cutting out all sugar. It's about being mindful of what we eat and understanding how certain foods, even fruits, can affect our body in unexpected ways. So, what's the solution? Should you avoid fruit altogether? Of course not. There are plenty of alternatives to grapes that can satisfy your sweet tooth without causing those dangerous blood sugar spikes. Berries like strawberries and blueberries are lower in sugar and high in antioxidants, making them a much better option for seniors managing their blood sugar. You can still enjoy a delicious, sweet snack, but one that's healthier and safer for your body. Another thing to consider is how we eat. If you still want to enjoy grapes now and then, consider cutting them into smaller pieces. That can help slow down the absorption of sugar. You can also pair them with a protein, like a small piece of cheese, which will help balance out the sugar in the grapes and prevent a rapid increase in blood sugar levels. And there's something else that's really important to think about: choking. As we age, our swallowing reflex can weaken, and foods like grapes, which are small and slippery, can be a choking hazard. To avoid this, it's a good idea to cut grapes into smaller pieces, like quarters, before eating them. That simple step can make a big difference in making your snack safer. I know that managing blood sugar as we get older can feel like a balancing act. We want to enjoy our food, but we also want to make sure we're taking care of our health. So the key takeaway here is to be mindful. You don't need to cut out everything sweet, but it's important to understand how certain foods can affect your body, especially when it comes to blood sugar. By making small adjustments, like choosing lower sugar fruits or cutting them into safer portions, you can continue to enjoy tasty snacks without worrying about your blood sugar. Taking care of your health doesn't have to be complicated. It's about making simple, informed choices. You're in control of your health, and by being aware of how food affects your body, you can keep living the way you want to. Your health is your greatest asset, and making these small changes can have a huge impact on how you feel and how long you stay healthy. Managing blood sugar is just one of the many concerns we face as we age. But it's not just about the sugar content in fruit. Sometimes the acidity can cause problems too. Let's explore how oranges, a fruit that many of us enjoy regularly, can actually lead to digestive discomfort and other health issues for seniors. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 inches below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support allows us to continue sharing valuable insights and inspiration with you. Let's keep moving forward together. 3. Oranges, refreshing, but not always safe for seniors. Oranges are one of those fruits that we've all enjoyed throughout our lives. Whether it's a glass of fresh juice in the morning or a quick, sweet snack in the afternoon. They're often associated with good health, thanks to their vitamin C content and antioxidants. But as we age, we start to realize that our bodies can change in ways we didn't expect, and even something as simple as an orange can start to cause problems. Let me tell you about Helen, a 71-year-old woman from Florida. For years, Helen started her day with a fresh orange or a glass of orange juice. It was a part of her morning routine, something she'd always enjoyed. But recently, she began noticing something wasn't right. She started feeling a burning sensation in her chest after eating her oranges, which at first she dismissed as just a minor inconvenience. But soon the heartburn became more frequent and intense, disrupting her daily life. She didn't think much of it at first, assuming that heartburn was just something we get used to as we get older. But when she stopped eating oranges, she noticed something surprising. The heartburn got better. It was a relief she hadn't expected, but it made her wonder why oranges, something she thought was so healthy, were causing her these issues. It turns out that for seniors like Helen, oranges and other citrus fruits can be more than just a source of vitamin C. They can actually be the cause of digestive problems. Oranges are highly acidic, and for many older adults, this acidity can aggravate the digestive system. Conditions like acid reflux, indigestion, or heartburn are very common as we age. The acid in oranges can trigger these issues, causing discomfort that can really affect your daily life. But that's not all. Oranges can also interact with medications that many seniors take on a regular basis. For example, many older adults are prescribed medications for high blood pressure, cholesterol, or even depression. What many people don't know is that the acids in citrus fruits, including oranges, can interfere with how your body processes these medications, sometimes reducing their effectiveness. So the very thing you thought was helping your health, like taking a medication for blood pressure, could actually be working against you, leaving you more vulnerable to health complications. So what can you do? Should you give up fruit entirely? Absolutely not. The solution is not to stop eating fruit, but to find alternatives that are gentler on your system. For example, bell peppers are a fantastic substitute for oranges. They actually contain more vitamin C than oranges, and they're much less likely to irritate your stomach. If you're craving something sweet and tangy, try kiwis. They're also packed with vitamin C, and their acidity is much milder, making them easier on your digestive system. If you do love your oranges and don't want to give them up entirely, there are ways to still enjoy them with less discomfort. One simple tip is to drink plenty of water after eating citrus fruits. This can help wash away the acids and prevent them from lingering on your teeth and irritating your stomach. It's a small habit that can go a long way in protecting your digestive health. As we age, it becomes more important to listen to our bodies and understand how different foods affect us. It's not just about eating healthy foods, but about understanding how they interact with our unique health needs, especially when we're managing chronic conditions or taking medications. By making small changes, like switching to bell peppers or kiwis, you can still enjoy the benefits of vitamin C without the discomfort. Remember, even foods that seem healthy at first can sometimes need a second look as we get older. It's all about finding the right balance and making informed choices that support your long-term health. And if you're unsure about whether oranges or other foods are right for you, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor or a registered dietitian. They can help you navigate these changes and find alternatives that work best for your body. Now, while oranges may irritate our digestive systems, there are other fruits like avocados that are often considered superfoods. But just because something is labeled as healthy doesn't mean we can indulge without considering the impact on our bodies. Let's dive into the potential downsides of avocados, especially when it comes to portion control and their effect on weight and medications. 4. Avocados, a superfood, but watch the portion size. As we get older, many of us start to pay more attention to what we eat, trying to make choices that will help us stay healthy and feel our best. Avocados have gained a lot of popularity in recent years because they're packed with healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. They're often called a superfood because of the many health benefits they offer. But as with many things in life, moderation is key, especially when it comes to something as calorie-dense as avocados. Take Robert, for example. At 75 years old, Robert decided to add more avocados to his breakfast, thinking it was a great way to boost his heart health and nutrition. He enjoyed making avocado toast in the morning, thinking he was making a healthy choice. After a few months, though, he noticed something troubling. His clothes were starting to feel tighter, and he felt more sluggish than usual. When he weighed himself, he was surprised to find he had gained 12 pounds. That extra weight wasn't just inconvenient. It started putting pressure on his knees, which already had some wear and tear. The increased pain made it harder for him to stay active, and it became a struggle to keep up with the things he enjoyed doing. Robert didn't realize that his daily avocado habit, while healthy in some ways, was contributing to unwanted weight gain. This is something many seniors face. As we age, our metabolism naturally slows down, which means our bodies burn fewer calories. Even small changes in our diet can lead to gradual weight gain. Avocados are a great source of monounsaturated fats, which are good for the heart. But they're also very calorie-dense. A medium-sized avocado has about 240 calories, which is about the same as a small meal. For someone whose metabolism isn't as fast as it used to be, this can quickly add up. Gaining weight as we age can have a big impact on our health, especially when it comes to joint pain. Extra weight can strain the knees, hips, and lower back, leading to increased pain and reduced mobility. But the risks don't stop there. Being overweight can also increase the chances of developing other health issues like diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, conditions that many seniors are already managing. But it's not just weight gain we need to worry about with avocados. They can also interfere with certain medications, particularly those that seniors commonly take, such as blood thinners or medications for high blood pressure. The high-fat content in avocados can affect how these medications work, sometimes making them less effective. If you're taking medications that impact your blood or heart, it's important to check with your doctor before adding avocados to your daily routine. Another issue with avocados is that they can trigger allergic reactions in some people, particularly those with latex allergies. If you're allergic to latex, you might want to be cautious with avocados, as they contain proteins similar to those found in latex. If you experience symptoms like skin irritation or swelling in your mouth after eating avocado, it might be best to avoid them. So, what can you do? Should you stop eating avocados altogether? Not at all. Avocados are a wonderful source of healthy fats, but it's important to enjoy them in moderation. You don't need to give them up, but you do need to watch your portion sizes. If you find that you're gaining weight or having trouble with joint pain, it might be worth reconsidering how much avocado you're eating. Instead of having it every day, maybe enjoy it a few times a week or use it as a topping rather than the main part of your meal. If you're looking for alternatives that still provide healthy fats without as many calories, consider using olive oil. It's another great source of monounsaturated fats, and you can use it in your cooking or as a dressing for salads. Nuts like almonds or walnuts are also excellent options. They're packed with healthy fats, fiber, and protein, which can help with weight management and provide other health benefits. As we age, it's important to listen to our bodies and make adjustments where needed. Eating healthily doesn't mean cutting out everything we enjoy. It means finding the right balance and making mindful choices. So if you love avocados, that's perfectly fine, but just be sure to enjoy them in moderation and pay attention to how they fit into your overall diet. Your health and well-being are worth it, and making these small changes can help you feel your best and live comfortably. While portion control with avocados is crucial, there are other fruits like watermelon that, although refreshing and hydrating, can actually pose risks for seniors, especially those with heart, kidney, or diabetes concerns. Let's look at how watermelon could potentially be doing more harm than good if you're dealing with these health issues. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 inches below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. 5. Watermelon. Refreshing, but potentially harmful for heart and kidney health. There's nothing quite like a cold slice of watermelon on a hot summer day. It's sweet, hydrating, and the perfect snack to cool off. For many of us, it's one of those go-to treats that brings back memories of warm afternoons spent with family and friends. But as we get older, we start to realize that not all of our favorite foods are as harmless as they seem, especially when we have certain health conditions. Take Betty, for instance. Betty, a 78-year-old woman from Arizona, absolutely loved watermelon. Every summer, she would have it almost every day, thinking it was a great way to stay hydrated in the heat. It was sweet, refreshing, and made her feel good. But over time, Betty began to notice some troubling symptoms. Her feet started swelling, and she began feeling more fatigued than usual. One night, she woke up out of breath, feeling like she couldn't get enough air. She was rushed to the hospital, and after some tests, the doctors discovered that her heart was under strain due to the excess fluid in her body. The culprit? Watermelon. Despite its high water content, watermelon can be dangerous for seniors with heart or kidney problems. You see, watermelon is made up of around 92% water, which is what makes it such a hydrating fruit. But for people with kidney disease or heart issues, consuming large amounts of watermelon can actually be harmful. Watermelon's high water content can contribute to fluid retention, leading to swelling and increasing blood pressure. For seniors who are already dealing with fluid retention or who take medications to help remove excess fluid, like diuretics, watermelon can interfere with those medications, making it harder to manage the condition and potentially leading to serious complications. But that's not all. Watermelon can also be problematic for seniors with diabetes or prediabetes. Watermelon has a high glycemic index, which means it can cause a sharp spike in blood sugar levels. For people with diabetes, this can lead to fatigue, dizziness, and other uncomfortable symptoms. Managing blood sugar levels is already difficult for many seniors, and watermelon's effect on blood sugar can make that even harder. What seems like a harmless fruit could actually be putting your health at risk. So what can you do if you love watermelon, but you have heart, kidney, or blood sugar concerns? First and foremost, it's important to enjoy watermelon in moderation. If you're over 60 and dealing with any of these health issues, it's best to limit your portion size. Instead of eating large amounts, try sticking to half a cup of watermelon per serving. This smaller portion will reduce the potential impact on your blood sugar and fluid balance. You can also balance it out by pairing watermelon with protein or fiber, which can slow the absorption of sugar and help your body process it more easily. But even if you reduce the portion size, there are other hydrating fruits that might be a better choice for you. For example, berries like strawberries and blueberries are lower in sugar and packed with antioxidants. These fruits not only hydrate you, but they also offer added health benefits, making them a safer alternative for seniors managing blood sugar levels or heart and kidney health. At the end of the day, it's not about cutting out foods entirely, it's about finding balance and making informed decisions. You don't have to give up watermelon entirely, but it's important to understand how it can affect your body, especially if you have any of the conditions mentioned. By being mindful of your portion sizes, pairing it with other healthy foods, and listening to your body, you can continue to enjoy your favorite summer fruit without putting your health at risk. As we age, our health needs change, and so do our food choices. It's all about finding what works best for you and making small adjustments that support your overall well-being. By paying attention to how certain foods affect you, you can continue to enjoy life without the worry of health complications. And remember, it's never too late to make these small but meaningful changes to protect your health for years to come. Although watermelon seems like a healthy choice, it's clear that we must be mindful of how certain fruits affect us as we age. But it's not just about hydration and sugar levels. Some fruits can interact with the medications we take. Let's take a closer look at papayas, a fruit known for its digestive benefits, but one that could have unintended effects if you're on certain medications. 6. Papayas, good for digestion, but risky for medication interaction. Papayas are often praised for their digestive benefits. The enzyme papain in papayas is known to help break down proteins and soothe the stomach, making them a popular choice for those looking to improve digestion. Many people, especially seniors, turn to natural remedies like papayas to ease digestion issues. But what if I told you that this seemingly harmless fruit could actually pose risks, especially if you're taking medications regularly? Let me share the story of Joan, a 72-year-old woman from Arizona. Joan had always struggled with digestion issues, so when she heard that papayas could help, she eagerly added them to her daily routine. She believed they would improve her digestion and overall well-being. For a while, Joan felt like she was doing something good for her health. But after a few weeks, she started noticing something wasn't right. Her blood pressure medication, which she'd been taking for years, no longer seemed as effective. She started feeling unusually tired and dizzy, and her blood pressure began fluctuating. At first, Joan didn't make the connection, but when she stopped eating papayas, her blood pressure slowly returned to normal. The problem was that the papayas had been interfering with her medication, disrupting the delicate balance of her treatment. Joan's experience is more common than you might think. The enzyme papain in papayas can interfere with the absorption of certain medications, including blood thinners, diabetes medications, and antibiotics. For seniors who rely on these medications to manage chronic conditions, this can be a serious issue. If papayas interfere with how these medications are absorbed, it can lead to dangerous outcomes such as an increased risk of bleeding or dangerously low blood sugar levels. These side effects could have life-threatening consequences, which is why it's so important to be mindful of how our food choices interact with the medications we're taking. In addition to medication concerns, papayas can also cause discomfort for seniors with sensitive digestive systems. While papayas are known for their digestive benefits, they can sometimes cause bloating, gas, or even acid reflux, especially for those whose stomachs are already more delicate. As we age, our digestive systems tend to become more sensitive, and foods that we once enjoyed without issue can suddenly cause discomfort. It's a frustrating reality for many older adults. Foods that used to be easy on our systems can now cause us discomfort or worsen other health issues. But don't worry, there are alternative ways to support your digestion without the risks that papayas pose. If you're looking for something that promotes digestive health without interfering with medications or causing discomfort, consider turning to yogurt or kefir. These probiotic-rich foods are gentle on the stomach and help promote healthy digestion by encouraging the growth of beneficial gut bacteria. Ginger tea is another excellent choice. It has natural soothing properties that can ease nausea, reduce bloating, and calm the stomach, all while being gentle on your digestive system. Making the right food choices as we get older can feel like a balancing act, especially when we're managing multiple medications. But by being aware of how certain foods like papayas can affect our medications and digestive health, we can make informed decisions that improve our overall well-being. It's all about finding what works best for your body and choosing natural, gentle alternatives that support your health. So what should you take away from this? It's simple. Papayas can be great for digestion, but they're not always the best choice, especially if you're on medications or have a sensitive stomach. By exploring other options like yogurt, kefir, or ginger tea, you can still promote good digestion without the risk of medication interference or digestive discomfort. And remember, always consult with your doctor or a nutritionist if you're unsure about how a particular food might affect your health. It's all about making choices that help you feel your best as you continue your journey to good health. The key takeaway is that not all fruits are created equal, and some of them can actually pose serious risks to your health, especially as we age. By being mindful of what we eat and understanding how different fruits affect our bodies, we can make better choices to protect our kidneys, manage blood sugar, and avoid digestive discomfort. Remember, it's not about cutting out all fruits, but rather knowing which ones to enjoy in moderation or avoid altogether to stay healthy and strong. Now, I encourage you to take a moment to think about your current fruit choices. Are there any you've been eating that could be causing harm? Taking small steps to adjust your diet today can make a big difference in how you feel tomorrow. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more useful tips for living your healthiest life. We'd love to hear from you, so drop a like to 1 in the comments if you learned something new today. Or leave a Y0 if you think there's more we can do to help. Your feedback means the world to us. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your health is in your hands. Take charge of it today. We'll see you in the next video with more insightful tips to help you live your best life. Until then, take care and stay well.